it slowly, and it's like, I just want to do handstands and pulses.
Started the same with him, like we practiced it and I had to lead all the practices and it was like, oh yeah, this is okay. And now he's like, awesome.
Yeah.
Just doing ahead of time.
Last time at a workshop.
Time.
Yeah.
Time. So welcome.
How close we can be.
We are live, so to those of you at home, we're going to start this class with some essential oils. Our blend for today is peppermint oil with citrus bliss. So a nice little way to open up into the airways and get things going. If you don't have oil at home, contact us, we can just sort you out with some, or you can just follow through the breakfast without the oil. So find a comfortable seat, nice long spine, shoulders roll down the back, palms face up. If for any reason you don't want to use the oil, palms face down. Take a nice inhale through the nose. And slide out the mouth, let it go. Nice, another one like that, in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Beautiful. When you feel the oil drip into your hands, gently warming the palms together. And start by taking a moment, move the aroma into the space around you just by surrounding your face with your hand, and then avoiding any contact with the eyes. Bring the hands up in front of the nose. Inhale through the nose. Hold the breath at the top. And exhale out the nose with control. Beautiful. Again, in through the nose. Holding the breath at the top. Shoulders roll back. Exhale out the nose. One more like that. Inhale. This time holding for a little bit longer. Draw the chin towards the chest. Feel the belly draw in and up. And pelvic floor lift. And slowly soften, release out through the nose. Do one round of our breath pipe. So rub the hands together once again. Make a pipe or a cup with one hand. Cup them together and then inhale through the mouth. With that freshness coming to the back of the throat, holding the breath in at the top once again. And releasing as you're ready, softly out the nose. Beautiful. And take any of your excess oil. You take it to your favourite spot, which might be the back of the neck, the shoulders, might be the tops of the feet, the low back, anywhere that feels good. And then take your 2 blocks, place them at the top of the mat. Take your knees wide and your big toes together to touch. Sink down, find a child's pose with your hands on the blocks. Forehead rests on the mat. And just notice your breath. Notice the freshness that the essential oils may have brought to the breath. And just notice the rib cage expanding, the sides, the back, and softening with the exhale. Taking 2 more breaths in this position. The elevated hands, giving an opportunity to work a little deeper into the shoulders as we bring some focus and attention to the shoulders for our class today. Next inhale, rise up towards your tabletop position, slide the blocks out of the way. Set yourself up, wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And we'll just start by warming into the wrists. So just taking some circles, rolling the torso around over the wrists. If it feels good, you might tuck the toes. And that might allow you to just come a little bit further forward over the wrists. Starting to get into that spot where you're starting to feel it in the wrist joint. And take it back in the opposite direction. Notice what the breath is doing. Once more. And then back through center into stillness. You can keep the toes tucked or untuck them, whatever feels good, whatever helps you feel nice and stable. And then we'll move through this action, moving through the shoulder blade, the scapula. So what we're doing, keeping the arms nice and straight, and then starting to drop the chest, pull the bottom tips of the shoulder blades towards each other, and closing off that space. And then on the exhale, press and dome through the upper back, round that space between the shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. So like cat pose, but over accentuate that lift between the shoulders. And on the inhale, drop the chest, pulling the tips of the shoulder blades towards each other, and then press and dome. One more like that, drop the chest, retracting the shoulder blades. Press and dome as we protract the shoulder blades, opening up. And then untuck the toes, settle back into neutral. Turn the hands to face in the opposite direction. So thumbs face out, wrists face forward. We'll take cat-cow from this position. So drop the belly, find a nice arch in the spine this time, space between shoulders and ears. Exhale, press heels of the hands into the mat, round and down. Inhale, arch, lengthen the neck. Exhale, round and down, press the mat away. One more, inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Press those heels of the hands into the mat. And then sink back. Release the hands back to the regular direction. Tuck the toes once again. This time sit back into a toe squat. And from here, just shake out the wrists. And we'll just take a little bit of movement with the wrists. And roll them around and then maybe find a little wave action. Rolling out through the wrists. And then shake it out. Come forward, hands plant near the top of the mat. Shuffle the feet a little bit further towards the back of the mat. Keep the hips stacked over the knees and sink into your Anahata, heart melting pose. Maybe it's the chin that comes to the mat, maybe the chest. Or if you prefer, the forehead. And then try and work the arms towards straight. Notice what the breath is doing, a little bit of tone to the lower belly. One more breath here. Next inhale, slowly rise up. Come forward onto your belly and down onto your forearms. Setting up Sphinx pose. Elbows under the shoulders. Try and send the chest between the shoulders, broaden across the shoulders, press down through the tops of the feet. Big inhale. So that pelvis drawing down into the mat, drawing yourself forward, lengthening out through the crown of the head. One more breath here. And then take the elbows out wide, lower all the way down to the mat, bring the hands out wide. Rise up onto the fingertips. Inhale, lift head and chest. Keep the gaze down the bridge of the nose. And then float the hands. Press down through the tops of the feet. Lift the knees off the mat. Bring the hands back beside the hips. And then maybe float the feet to Shalavasana. Extend through the fingertips. Maybe the palms face up. One more breath here. And then bring the arms back to wide. Pull them in underneath. And press back, find a child's pose. Just release out through that low back. Just one full breath in your child's pose. And then inhale, rise up, downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. And find that movement that feels good. That movement that serves you, pedaling out through the feet. Pressing into the base of the index finger, base of the thumb. And then start to walk the hands towards the back of the mat. Nice bend to the knees. Hang into your forward fold. Hands find opposite elbows and release. If you like a little bit of movement, you might rock side to side. You might release out through the neck with little nods, maybe shakes. Draw lower belly in, sink a little deeper if it feels good, you feel ready. And then release the hands, mindfully slide the hands up to the low back, interlace the fingers. And then from here you might start to extend the arms towards straight, maybe even overhead as you come into this fold with the shoulder opener. If it feels good, working the legs a little bit more towards straight, keep drawing the lower belly in, fold over the legs. One more breath. Bring the hands back to the lower back, bending at the elbows. Slide the hands forward, plant the hands on the shins, inhale, half lift. Keep gazing at the feet so the neck stays long. And then bend to the knees, walk yourself forward, find a high plank position. And then from your high plank, really power up through the legs, press out through the backs of the heels. Feel the backs of the legs fire up, press down through index and thumb, and then we'll take that scapular press position once again as we move through here. If you need to support with the knees, feel free, otherwise, draw those bottom tips of the shoulder blades towards each other as you drop the chest. Engage through the lower belly, press and dome, lift up. One more. Lower down, chest lowers, shoulder blades draw in, press and dome, lift up. And then lift up and back, downward facing dog. Settle into your stillness in your down dog this time. Feel free to maybe take the hands a little bit wider if you want to get more into the shoulders today. And sink the chest through, gazing back at the thighs. Notice what the feet are doing. Gaze back at the heels. You shouldn't really be able to see them. They should be blocked by the feet. Keep those feet nice and parallel. One more inhale breath here. Slowly releasing the breath. And then lifting the gaze towards the top of the mat. Walk or step yourself into a forward fold at the top of the mat this time. Inhale, curl it up to stand. Reach nice and tall. Lifting up, maybe pressing the hips forward if that feels good. And then hands through heart center as we move into our sun salutations. So toes together to touch. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, forward fold, maybe a bend to the knees, keep that back nice and flat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant, step or hop back, find your high plank and flow it through your vinyasa. You might support with the knees and lower to the mat or hold in your chaturanga. Inhale to lift into your cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, take it back. Downward facing dog. One full breath here. And then a little bend to the knees, gaze forward, stepping or hopping top of the mat. Find your forward fold. Release the breath out. Use the inhale to rise, stack the vertebrae, reach the arms, lift the gaze. Exhale, hands through heart. Keep moving as we take it through another round. Inhale, reach. Exhale to fold. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant, step or hop, take it back and through your vinyasa. Lowering down, nice and active, elbows in, lifting up, inhale, back extension. Exhale, downward facing dog. Little bend to the knees, gaze forward, step or hop, find your forward fold. Exhale over the legs. Inhale to curl it up. Urdhva Hastasana, reach up, hips forward, maybe press. Exhale, hands through. One more round, sweep it through. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, vinyasa, your option. If at any stage you want to start to slow down the practice, feel free to skip out the vinyasas and take it straight to your downward facing dog. Little bend to the knees, gaze forward, step or hop. Find that forward fold, release the breath. Inhale, curl it up. Reach it tall. Exhale, hands through. Surya Namaskar B. Set up the feet, ready for chair pose. So toes together to touch, or if you prefer, feet at hip distance, whatever serves you today. Bend the knees, sweep the hands down, see if you can touch the mat. Just reach the arms up. Beautiful, Utkatasana. We'll do a little bit of movement with our arms in our Utkatasana today. So imagine you're cross-country skiing. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sweep them through and lift them up. Inhale. Sweep them through and lift them up. Inhale. Keep moving with your breath. Sinking those arms. 2 more. Last one. Utkatasana, sink back into the legs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, vinyasa or straight to down dog, your option. Beautiful work. Inhale, the right leg high. Bend at the knee, open up the hip, find scorpion dog, pull the heel in nice and tight. Keep lifting that knee up high. And then gaze forward, right knee draws towards right elbow, hover. Inhale, reach up and back, nice straight legs, square hips. Take that knee through to the left elbow and hover. Inhale, up and back, square the hips. And then step the foot through between the hands. Drop the back heel to the mat, rise up for warrior one. Inhale. As you exhale, take the arms around behind you, interlace the fingers and open up the chest. Try and keep the heels of the hands together if you can. One more breath here. Next exhale, fold into humble warrior. Shoulder comes down the inside line of the knee if there's space. Maybe it rests on top if that feels better in your hips. One more breath. Use the next inhale to rise up, release the hands and reach. Exhale to frame the foot and flow it through. If you're working on three-legged vinyasa, sweep that right leg all the way up into three-legged dog. Come forward into three-legged plank, down through your three-legged chaturanga, and sweep it through. Nice work. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Bend at the knee, stack and open the hips, scorpion dog. Pull the heel in tight. Reach that knee up high. Left knee finds left elbow, hop. Inhale, reach up and back. Left knee finds right elbow, hopper. Inhale, reach up and back. Step the foot through for warrior one. Setting it up as you drop the back heel. Inhale, rise, reach. Sink into the pose. Send the arms back, take the opposite interlace at the fingers. Open out through the chest, one breath up here. Next exhale, take it into your humble warrior, sinking down, inside line. Ground into the feet. Feel that blade edge of the back foot grounding into the mat. One more breath down here. And then inhale, rise up, release the arms, reach. Exhale, frame the foot, flow it out. Your vinyasa may be three-legged if you're working on it. And back to downward facing dog. Little bend to the knees, gaze forward, step a hop to the top of the mat. Fold over the legs. And then start to bend at the knees, rise into your Utkatasana, chair pose. Take a moment, tuck the tailbone, draw the lower belly in. Maybe the gaze lifts up between the hands. And then inhale up to stand. Exhale, hands through heart. Take a moment, Tadasana, maybe the hands stay at heart center. Bring the palms beside you, roll the shoulders back. Pull up on the thighs. Take a moment, let it settle. Beautiful. Back to Utkatasana, bend the knees. Bottom sinks back. Maybe tap the floor as you reach the arms up. And then draw the hands in towards heart center. Inhale, little lift. Exhale, sink the bottom low. Again, inhale, little lift. Exhale, sink the bottom low. One more. This time we'll take it all the way to the mat. Little lift. Exhale, take it down. Plant the bottom. Lift the legs. Find your Navasana. If it's feeling good, you might extend the legs towards straight. Nice full inhale breath. And then as you exhale, extend the legs forward as you come into our Ardha Navasana, lower boat. Tension into that lower belly, flexing the feet, reach through the fingers. Nice full breath, big inhale. Exhale, bring it down to the mat, release. One full breath. And then draw the knees into the chest, we'll rock it back up, find our Utkatasana once again. So gain a little bit of momentum. And then pull the heels in nice and tight. So if you can stand up, either use the arms or don't. Beautiful. Be in the challenge, be in the midst of it all. And then your option for Bakasana, if there's not quite enough space, maybe a little waddle back. And then plant the hands. You might just step back through Vinyasa, or if you're working on your crow pose, with the knees, try and plant them into the outer upper arms, or even in the armpits. Float one, maybe both, press the mat away. And if you're working on hop back, you might just plant the feet down, jump back. Feel that lift up, extend back. Nice. Through your vinyasa. And then downward facing dog. We'll similar setup, and then we'll move into our flow. Inhale, right leg reaches high. Bend the knee, stack and open the hip, pull the heel in tight. You might stay here, and we'll take it into wild thing if you want to take it further. Onto the blade edge of that back foot, nice strong straight left leg, reach the arm up. And then use the inhale to bring it back, square the hip, straighten the leg. Right knee, right elbow, hop. Inhale, reach up and back. Right knee, left elbow, hop. And then reach up and back. Step it through, find warrior one. Inhale, rise up. Take the arms behind you straight away, interlace the fingers, open up through the chest. Exhale, humble warrior, sink it down. Couple of breaths down here. Bring the hands to the lower back. Release the interlace of the fingers. Left hand's going to plant to the inside of your front foot. Roll onto the back toes, reach the right arm up. Find this twisting action. Make sure that back foot's nice and square. Nice full breath. And then top arm reaches forward. Plant it on the inside of that front foot. Come back onto the heel of the back foot. Peel the left arm open, side angle pose. Nice. If you feel open and you'd like to take it there, feel free to come into your bound side angle, dropping the shoulder and the arm around it underneath. Open out through the chest. One more breath here. And stack the shoulders, maybe gaze up. And then release the bind. Plant the right hand down, take a moment. Sweep that left arm up, warrior two. Shuffle the feet as you need to. Sink into the pose. Take a little moment. Move forward until the knee stacks over that front heel. And then flip the front palm. Reach up, reverse your warrior back. Try and stay in the same bend of the knees. And if you'd like it, half bind by bringing that left hand around. Take hold of the right thigh. Nice, one more breath. And then come forward, regular side angle. So you might take forearm to knee and reach that arm forward. You might take it deeper once again. This time you might like the outside edge as you extend through the top arm. Nice, full breath. And then inhale, rise up, reverse warrior. This time your option for the exit as we come through, you might like just take it through your vinyasa or handstand hop. So windmill the arms down, frame the foot, roll onto the back toes. Either step back through vinyasa or slide the foot back to about halfway. Plant the hands down, nice and active, pressing down through index and thumb. Left leg lifts nice and high, really active through that lifted leg, and then bend through this front knee, find some hops. Feel the weight press down into the hands, and just really try and slow down the landing. If it feels good and you find some hang time, feel free to hang out. Otherwise, step back and flow out your vinyasa or take it straight to down dog. Beautiful work. Nice big inhale between sides. Maybe even slide out the mouth, let it go. Inhale, reach that left leg high. Scorpion dog as you bend the knee, stack, open the hip. You might be staying here, or you might bring it over into your wild thing. A strong straight right leg like side plank. Top arm reaches. Beautiful. Bring it back on the inhale breath. Square yourself. Left knee, left elbow, hover. Draw it forward. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, left knee, right elbow, hover. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, step it through. Finding your warrior one as you drop the back heel and reach up. Arms come around behind you, interlace the fingers, open up through the chest. Exhale, humble warrior, bring it down. Ground down through that back foot. And evenly distribute the weight. One more breath here. And then bring the hands to the lower back, release the interlace. Right hand comes around, plants in front. Roll onto the back toes, lift the left arm up, find that twisting action first. Beautiful, nice full inhale breath. And then top arm reaches forward, plant it on the inside line, peel open as you drop the back heel into your variation of side angle pose. And if it feels good, you took it on the other side, drop the shoulder, find the bind, down side angle here. One more breath. Release the bind, windmill up, warrior two. Sink into the pose, shuffle the feet as you need to. And then little reach forward, flip the palm, reverse your warrior back, reach tall. If you took the half bind, reach around with that right hand, take hold of left thigh. One more inhale. Exhale, coming into your second round of side angle pose, modify as you wish. Maybe that hand went to the outside edge. Gaze looks up. And then inhale, rise up, take it into reverse warrior. And then your exit once again, maybe it's handstand hops, or just take it through vinyasa. If you're hopping, slide the foot back. Come high on the toes, lift that right leg high. Gripping with the fingers, pressing down through index and thumb, squeezing thumbs together. Shoulders forward past the wrists and hop. Land as slow as you can, as soft as you can. And then take it through your vinyasa. Beautiful work. Drop the knees to the mat. Take a child's pose. Big toes together, knees out wide. Sink. 3 full breaths here. And in your option, you might sigh out the mouth with this last breath. Nice, and then bring it back up, down facing dog. One more round of flow with a little bit of balance. Set yourself up. And then inhale the right leg high. Step the right foot through between the hands. Stay on the back toes, stay low. Send energy out through the back heel, press down through the front heel, and start to reach the arms forward, pull the belly off the thigh, arrowhead variation. Inhale, come up, crescent lunge. Beautiful, nice full breath. And then find your interlace. Open out through the chest. Heels of the hands together, maybe the gaze goes up. Notice that back leg, see if you can power it up to straight a little more. And then we'll come into Warrior 3. So your option, you might like to stay with the hands interlaced, like a Shalabhasana variation, or you can release the hands, bring them to the hips, out to the side, whatever you need. As you're ready, maybe a half step, or just float straight in, and then take it anywhere with the hands into prayer position beside you, in front, whatever serves, whatever works. Nice full breath here. And flex those back feet, really drawing the toes in nice and tight. And then we're going to come up to stand, so a little soft bend through that standing leg, power all the way up onto this one foot, and then draw the knee in towards the chest for a moment. Nice, then we'll take it into eagle with the legs. So hands can come on the hips for the moment, and then take this left leg around. Maybe it plants on the floor, maybe it tucks in behind the calf, settle in, and then find cactus arms. You might stay here with the hands at prayer, or taking it into full eagle pose, left elbow under the right. Find that interlace, sink the bottom back, slowly sinking into the pose. One more breath. And then coming up, try and release the feet, keep the arms there if you can. And then slowly take it back through Warrior 3 with eagle arms. Then release the arms, bring the hands to the floor. Find your standing splits. Really point through that top leg, that left leg, and draw the lower belly in, sink over that right leg. 2 more breaths here. If you have any kind of bind in your practice, feel free to take it. Nice, 1 more breath. And then inhale, find a halfway lift. You might just plant the hands, step back either to down dog or through a vinyasa, or you might like handstand hops once again. Maybe slide the foot back if you need to. Left leg active and high, trying to keep it straight. Hopping, maybe hovering, and then taking it through your vinyasa or meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg reaches, lift it up. Step the left foot through between the hands. Stay nice and low for the setup. Activate the legs, pressing out through the back heel. Reach the arms forward, pull the belly off the thigh, stay low. And then inhale, bring it up, crescent lunge. Sink into the pose. And then take the arms around behind you, interlace the fingers. Open out through the chest. In your option, take the hands wherever you wish as we come into Warrior Three. Maybe 2 steps, maybe 1 big step, and then sink into your balance, flexing the back foot. Take the arms wherever you wish. Prayer, extended, back. 1 more breath. And then soft bend to the front knee, come up to stand on that leg. Draw the knee into the chest, take a moment. And then come into eagle legs, taking this right leg over the top, maybe on the floor, maybe around into the bind. Hands may stay at heart center. Find cactus arms. Right elbow underneath this time. Sink it in. Your eagle pose. One more breath. And slowly unpack the legs. Maybe a moment in Warrior Three with your eagle arms. And then release the hands, take them down. Find your standing splits. Fold over that leg. Settling in, a few breaths here. Pointing through that top leg as much as you can. Draw the lower belly in. Maybe any kind of bind you took on the other side. One more breath. And then find your halfway lift, plant your hands. Maybe you take it back a little, maybe you just step back through vinyasa. Or last time round with handstand hops. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Nice, full breath. And then bring it down to the knee. Take a short child's pose. Hands back, forehead down. And then inhale, rise up. Okay, dolphin pose. Starting off with a block. If you don't have a block at home, it's not essential, but gives you some nice alignment to start with. So I'm going to bring the block in between the forearms, squeezing it together, and looking for that alignment where the elbows are under the shoulders, squeeze. And just for a moment, lift the block, feel the squeeze. And with the arms squeezed together, extend the block up towards the ceiling. Keep squeezing. Nice, draw it back in, lower it back down. Dolphin pose, tuck the toes. Squeeze the block, press the mat away with the elbows, lift up. And send the head back behind the block if there's space. Maybe you can walk the feet in a little closer. Nice, full breath. One more here. And then slowly lower to the knees. Nice. Slide the block out of the way. Okay, from here, options if you have an inversion practice and you'd like to go for forearm stand, classical headstand, tripod headstand, anything like that, now's your time. I'm going to guide us through another round of dolphin. So if you want to go somewhere else, your option. Setting up dolphin without the block this time. If you know that your elbows splay out and you find it really challenging to keep the hands straight, you can bring the palms together to touch. I'm going to take this variation for this round, but feel free to stick with it, palms down. And if you're going for forearm stand, this can be a really nice, helpful option as well. And then press into the mat, walk yourself in, taking dolphin pose. We're taking our leg lifts here, so inhale, reach the right leg high, slowly bring it down. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Slowly bring it down. One more to each side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Come down to the knees. you're upside down, slowly making your way back to your child's pose. Take your time, there's no rush. And we'll meet here on the mat, child's pose. And then lift up, gaze forward, come onto your belly. Beautiful. Shalabhasana from here. So setting it up first. Press down through the tops of the feet, lift the knees. Palms beside the hips facing up. Inhale, float the head, float the shoulders. Find the activation and then maybe float the legs. Breath is full, breath is deep. Maybe you can lift a little higher. Almost like you're trying to lift the lower belly off the mat as well. And then slowly lower down, make a little pillow for the head, the hands together. So you can keep that spine nice and straight. And then option, another round of Shalabhasana, maybe with the fingers interlaced. Yeah, or we'll take it into Dhanurasana, bow pose, reaching back for the feet. Maybe even the shins, flex the feet. Inhale, lift those legs up, toes together, head and shoulders float. If the feeling is there, feel free to move with the flow of your breath. One more breath. And then slowly release. Hands down in front once again. Take a moment with the feet grounded. And then lift them up, bend at the knees, and little rock side to side. Release out through that low back. And then slowly press yourself back, child's pose. Your option, you might like one last vinyasa, or just sweep around and we'll meet on our backs. Setting up for bridge pose. If you prefer something more restorative, feel free to bring your blocks in nice and handy. We'll take 2 rounds of back bends before Shavasana. So setting up for round 1. If you feel ready, you want to take it into full wheel. We have opened up the back already, so feel free to go there. Otherwise, I'll guide us through bridge pose. Inhale, lifting those hips up. Make sure the heels are lined up under the knees and lined up with the hip sockets. Hands can tuck in underneath. Shoulders might tuck in underneath as you interlace the hands. Keep pressing the hips high. Nice full breath up. If you're up high in your wheel, sending the chest back through the arms. Working those arms towards straight. Maybe rise up onto the toes and walk in closer. If you're in your bridge, one more breath. If you're in your wheel, come down. Whenever you're ready, tuck that chin to chest. Slowly lower down. Round the lower back between rounds. Feel it pressing in. And then our last back bend, setting it up however you wish. If you prefer to take it restorative, you can slide the block in underneath and just take a supported bridge. Otherwise, another round of wheel or another bridge, whatever serves you. Come up for 3 or 4 breaths. And when you're ready, slowly bringing it back down, all the way to the mat. Take a moment with the lower back grounded, and then just extend the legs up towards the ceiling, give them a little shake out. Draw the knees in towards the chest. And then plant the heels back down, just a little rock side to side, gentle spinal twist to finish. And then setting up for your Shavasana. Start to take the feet out as wide as the mat. Get out any of those last little jiggles with the shoulders, ground, arms face up. Letting go of any control of the breath, letting the weight sink, letting it all drop into the mat. Last few moments together inside of Shavasana. Very gently bring your awareness back, noticing the flow of your breath as you re-energize the body, introducing movement through fingers, through toes. If you're at home and you prefer to stay longer for Shavasana, feel free. Otherwise, slowly making your way up to a comfortable seated position, rolling off through one side. Palms can rest on the lap or draw them into heart center. Find that nice long spine. We'll close the class on a breath. Nice full inhale, fill up the belly, fill up the chest. Exhale, side out the mouth. Thank you all so much for joining me, sharing your time, your energy, your practice. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, ladies. Quite sweaty.
I'm sweating.
Yeah.
Well, I was like thinking, is this just me?